Hello, Crosswatchers for Cancer. We're going to see what's going on in the Cancer in your life. Those of you who've had private readings from me before, you know that I always say, I don't do any kind of psychic spying. I don't look into anybody else's dirty laundry, right? Or spill the tea, or I don't know, whatever they say these days. Because of the vibration that I work with, I have certain rules I have to follow. I have certain ethics I have to follow. But I will always ask, what do you need to know about the situation to protect yourself, and what is in everyone's highest and best interest for you to know? Sometimes it's helpful if we know certain things about who we're dealing with, because we can help a situation, or we can bring light or healing into a situation. So that's the stance I take. All right, so we won't get too heavily or too deep into anyone's dirty laundry. But we're going to see what is going on in Cancer's life, what you need to know. And I try to keep this very broad or general so that it can apply whether you haven't heard from this Cancer in a really long time, or you all are still in communication, or you're dating, or together, or in business or family. I try to keep it broad, but we'll see, what comes up or what is going on right now in Cancer's life. So one. All right, so they may be feeling, okay, they may be feeling very driven or very determined right now to bring about some change in their life. Queen of Rods is that card for me in my readings. Maybe this is a person who has been putting up with a lot of crap for a long time, and they're finally waking up to seeing their worth and realizing that they're wanting more, and so they might be setting out to prove something, or they might be setting out to start something or to better their life in some way. It can be in some cases, and your Cancer, their personality, what's going on with their vibe. It could be that they've got some kind of third party situation going on, and they may be dealing with the third party or thinking about a third party right now. Sometimes Queen of Rods can indicate there's some kind of three of rods, no, third party situation happening. Sometimes this can be, this is a general reading, so it's gonna be different things for different ones of you. Someone commented the other day that they hated my reading because they hated how I was guessing about things. Guys, I really wish that out of the whole universe, Spirit would tell me the messages that are just meant for you, but you're sharing this reading with hundreds, if not thousands, of other people. So there's going to be other scenarios. And if that bothers you, you're going to need to get a private reading, because any reader you're going to on YouTube is going to, be reading for more than one person. But so you've got Queen of Rods coming up here in the kind of heart or situation of your Cancer's life. Okay, so there's a lot of fire in their energy. Whatever it might be, they're coming into a time of action. So if you had a Cancer who's been stagnant, or you've had a Cancer who's been indecisive, they're coming into more decision-making type energy, taking control type energy. Sure enough, here we have the Magician card. So they're at a pretty significant crossroads in their life, and they're definitely coming into the energy of wanting to do more or wanting to create more in their life, and they're beginning to manifest. Your Cancer is probably going through some kind of rebuilding or restructuring of their life. That's the vibe or the feeling that I'm getting. So this person could be preparing to leave a bad relationship, or they could be preparing to leave a toxic environment. But overall, they're in this energy of a fresh start, trying to call in a fresh start. If you're coupled with this Cancer, if you all are married or dating, or you've known each other a while, they may be hungry for a little bit more adventure. They may be hungry for a little bit more passion. That doesn't mean that they're tired of you or that they're bored of you. Maybe things are a little bit stale and they just want more of that fast moving energy. The Magician, however, gives me a sense or a feeling that they're kind of rising to action, and they're taking certain matters into their hands. They're trying to take the lead in bringing about changes, but they're also manifesting things much more effortlessly. That's what the message is when I see the Magician. There's some kind of manifestation going on or happening. There, another major arcana card. Your Cancer's going through a lot of changes, guys. And just to specify, this reading will be on into mid-May. I'm doing end of April to mid-May, and then in the future they'll be like from mid-month to mid-month. But the death card tells us this person is going through some transformations or transitions, okay? They may be making a decision. If you have a Cancer who has been dealing with some third-party stuff, they're making a decision which relationship is ending and which relationship is going to continue, but they're not going to keep doing third-party stuff. Like they're making a decision on what they want to do, and certain things are coming to an end. For many of you, you have a Cancer, I feel like, who is really, really setting firm boundaries with their family and going through some changes with their family, okay? Whether this is someone who's in a relationship and has a family with a person and they're restructuring that, whether you've been involved with Cancer and their family's been butting into your relationship, Cancer might be stepping up and setting firmer boundaries there, and just like with their family, this isn't cool, this isn't going to be okay. But overall, this Cancer is coming into a lot of changes and taking the lead more, okay? Like really, really emerging. If you're watching because you're watching in regard to a family member, like a sibling or or even like somebody that you're doing business with, this Cancer has some issues or situations and how they've been treated. You know, we all sometimes get in situations where we feel like we haven't been treated fairly, or we've been wrong, or we've been overlooked, or we haven't been taken seriously. And there's a lot of that kind of feeling for me as I'm looking at this card. And so they're setting out to change the image that you have of them. They're wanting to be taken more seriously. They're wanting to be heard. They're wanting to be treated a little bit differently. So you're going to see some changes. And for some of you, it will come across as if, or as though, like they're kind of just drifting away or they're floating away. So they may seem less involved. They may seem less interested in whatever you all were doing before. They may be in a place where they're looking for other objects or situations or places to put their attention and to build and to create in their life. You may feel like this Cancer all of a sudden is stepping up to compete with you, and that's not the case. They're not trying to compete. They just feel like they're proving themselves. You know, they feel like they've been like left in the dust or they've been overlooked. So, and they maybe think that they've expressed this to you, but you're like, this is news to me, you know, and this may be why there's this drifting away kind of feeling. So, they may not be saying to you flat out that they're not happy with the way they've been treated. So this may be a good time, you know, if you want to fix that, or if you want that to be changed, it might be up to you to bring it up and just been like, hey, like, you know, how are things, or are you okay, or, you know, how are you? It might be a good time for you to just kind of like check in on how they feel about recent decisions that you all have made, or like things that you all are working on, or plans or discussions, and really listen, because I just kind of feel like Cancer might be feeling a little stifled or overlooked. Yep. There's this heavy burden, okay? So they may feel like they're working really, really hard, but like you're not seeing what they're bringing to the table. Or they're working really hard to bring about this change, and so they might be tired. They may be not very conversational. They may not be in a lot of conversations. If you've been reaching out to Cancer and Cancer's not answering you, it doesn't surprise me, because Cancer's going through some really big changes, some really big self-awareness stuff happening, and they're very, very busy trying to, work on different aspects of their life. So this to me is just kind of, it would be more of the energy of, they may see the message coming in and, oh, I gotta answer that, and then they forget about it. Like, it feels to me in that way. And some people might be like, well, that's inexcusable, right? Like, that's inexcusable. Somebody needs to message me or like not ignore me. I totally get you. I feel you. I'm with you on that. Just know and understand that right now it feels to me like Cancer is really, really focused on getting their life together, and being taken more seriously, right? And in their mind, this is everything that they're doing so that they can establish family for themselves, or they can establish success for themselves, so that they can focus on things like relationships and things like that down the line. But Cancer's not happy right now with what they're bringing into the world, or how the world is treating them, or how their environment is treating them. So they're really focused on bringing about change. 5 is competing, competition. They may be caught up with competing with others. Again, they have the strong desire to prove themselves. They might feel like someone else has a bigger piece of the pie, or more opportunities, or whatever it might be. So they're kind of like in this battle mode. They may even be, like I said, they may be a little bit cranky, right? You might have to be cautious in what you say to them, because they may be taking it as an attack when you're not even trying to imply anything. So there might be some moodiness happening here with Cancer. So let's see what Cancer would like to say to you. What message does Cancer have for Crosswatcher? What would Cancer like to say to Crosswatcher? You got Knight of Swords and Ten of Swords. I think they would want you to know that the game is changing. It's not going to be how it was before, okay? They want you to see them as taking control of a situation. They want you to see them as in charge of their life, in charge of themselves. They want you to have faith or have trust in their decision making. And they're also letting you know that they're defeating, or they're battling their demons. They're beating anything that's been holding them back in the past. They might be working on overcoming some addiction. If you do know a Cancer who happens to do like self-medicating or numbing themselves, and addiction could be anything, guys. It could be drinking, it could be drugs, it could be video games, it could be sex, it could be food, it could be partying, it could be shopping, it could be working. Anything that that this Cancer has done in the past to escape their problems or their issues, they're aware of it, and they're trying to get control of their emotions, and they're wanting to be a more logical person, and they're wanting to think more clearly. I'm not sure why, but I just got a visual of somebody sitting down and doing like a workbook, doing like letter writing, doing some kind of like physical detox. So they may even be doing something right now where like they're cutting out sugar, or they're taking some kind of vitamin, or they're taking some kind of thing to like cleanse the system. But there's also a feeling or a sense of like getting emotions out, getting thoughts out, doing something with a self-help or workbook type stuff, or like support group or therapy type stuff they may be doing to help like kick some old habits or overcome some old habits. So they want you to take them seriously, right? And they want to see you as like they're in control of the situation, that they don't necessarily need help. They want to feel like they have something to teach you. And you might be like, I don't need anybody to teach me anything, right? But Cancer's on one right now. I don't know what to tell you. Cancer is like on their throne. They're on one right now, and they want you to feel like you need them. to make decisions or to lead or to guide in some way for some reason. All right, so let's see what you can do to help Cancer. Okay. Alrighty. So they have a lot of anxiety. They're maybe not sleeping, and they're working really, really hard. Okay, they have some stress. They're not getting enough rest. They're not taking enough breaks. I don't think they want to hear you're working too hard. They don't want to hear that. They don't want to deal with anything that they're taking as criticism. Keep in mind, they do feel a little bit defensive to me. Like, "Oh, I'm the king and I know what I'm doing." Like that kind of energy. Like they don't want that criticism. But maybe what you can do if you're close enough to this Cancer, is try to make sure that you all do something fun. Maybe like, hey, let's go see, that movie you wanted to see, even if it's something that you're not into, but you know that they would like it, or let's go, bowling, or let's go for a hike, or whatever it is they're interested in. Like, when's the last time you went fishing, or whatever it might be. This might be a good time to try to suggest doing something with them. You may even have to do it in a way where you're kind of like disguising it, and you're asking them to help you with something like, oh, you're such a great, I don't know, you're such a great swimmer, can you give me lessons? Or you're so great at, tennis, or I don't know, whatever it might be. You might have to do it in that way, as if like they're doing you a favor by going. And again, this is probably going to be more if this is like a family member that you're concerned about, or a partner that you're invested with emotionally and you're really wanting to help them. You may not do this if it's a Cancer who you haven't talked to in a really long time. What you can do to bring them back, I do feel like if you all have uh like mutual friends, or if this person's still on your social media, just have this light about you, be in your positivity, do things that are showing that like you're in a good place and you're having fun. And they may look over and be like, man, I really miss Crosswatcher, like I'm here working like a dog, and like they look like they're having so much fun over there. So that is something that could maybe bring some of your Cancers back. Again, it's a general reading, so those of you who are upset by that, I'm sorry for giving you different scenarios, but it's hundreds, sometimes thousands of people. So that's what's coming in, my darlings. Be sure to watch your love readings for May. Those are going to be up in the next couple of days, and then also the weekly forecasts are going to be up soon. And I thank you so much, guys, for liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing. Some of you have really enjoyed the new Crosswatcher stuff. Some of you aren't feeling it. Can't make everybody happy, but whatever brought you to the video, I assure you there's messages here one way or another. And I thank you so much for receiving.